Good day everyone. Today I will be presenting on silent struggles, understanding and managing communication apprehension among university students. What is communication apprehension? Communication is the exchange of ideas and feelings between people, but not everyone feels confident doing it. Communication apprehensions means feeling anxious or fearful when asked to speak in class, in group, or in public. This is very common among university students. Why is it important at university? At university, we need to present, discuss, and collaborate. Good communication help us succeed academically and socially. But if we are too anxious to speak, it affects performance, confidence, and mental well-being. What will this presentation cover? This talk will explain communication apprehension, explore why it happens, look at psychological theories, and last one, suggest practical solutions for students and universities. Let's begin by understanding what causes this sharing.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. Today, I would like to briefly present the conceptual framework of communication apprehension, which plays a critical role in understanding student participation and performance at the university level. Firstly, what is communication apprehension? It is a feeling of fear, anxiety, or worry when someone is required to communicate. Whether in formal setting like presentation or even in casual conversations, it's more than just being shy. It acts as a psychological barrier that can affect learning and confidence. Next, we look at the definition and types. As introduced by Mikrowski, he defined communication apprehension as fear or anxiety associated with real or anticipated communication. There are four main types. First, oral, fear of speaking in front of the class. Second, interpersonal, anxiety during one-on-one conversations. Third, group, discomfort in group discussion. And lastly, public, nervousness when speaking to a larger audience. Moving on to the prevalence, studies show that 16 to 70% of students experience communication apprehension. First year, students are the most affected, especially during class presentation. This can lead to low confidence, poor performance in oral tasks, and reduced participation in group or co-curricular activities. Lastly, we look at the main contributing factors. Psychologically, students with low self-esteem or social anxiety are more vulnerable. Socially, those who have experienced bullying or fear being judged tend to avoid speaking. Culturally, students from reserved background, such as Malay students, may be less encouraged to speak up. And past negative experience like embarrassing presentations can create long-lasting fear. In conclusion, understanding this aspect help educators design better support system to reduce communication apprehension and enhance student engagement.
As we know, in today's competitive higher education environment, students are expected not only to excel academically but also to be proficient in communication. However, in reality, many students feel fearful, nervous or anxious when required to speak, whether in class, group discussion or in front of an audience. This is what we call communication apprehension. So, one of the main models used to measure this anxiety is the PRCA24 developed by Mikrowski in 1982. This model assesses anxiety across four contexts, which is interpersonal communication, group discussion, meeting, and public speaking. With the PRCA24 score, lecturer and counselor can identify students who need support, whether through communication training or psychosocial intervention. So next, the cognitive appraisal theory by Lazarus and Fortman in 1984 explained that anxiety is triggered not just by the situation itself, but by how a person interprets the situation. For example, if a student perceives a presentation as a threat to their self-esteem, their anxiety will increase. But if they see the same situation as an opportunity to learn and grow, more positive emotions are likely to emerge. Following that, self-perception theory by Beam in 1972 suggests that individuals from perception of themselves based on their own behavior. For example, if a student constantly avoids speaking, they may begin to believe they are shy or lack confidence. Over time, this belief becomes a major cause of ongoing communication apprehension. Therefore, students need to change not only their behavior, but also the way they see themselves. However, Spielberg emphasized the importance of understanding two types of anxiety. First, trait anxiety, which is a long-term tendency to feel anxious as a part of one's personality. Second, state anxiety, that is a temporary anxiety that arises in specific situations. Recognizing this distinction is crucial to provide the right kind of a support or intervention. So, communication apprehension is not a minor issue. It significantly affects academic performance, social engagement, and emotional well-being. Therefore, by combining theoretical understanding with practical approach, we can help students become not only academically successful, but also confident in expressing their ideas.
Alright, my name is Ahmad Afruhan Baru Basit and my metric number 1232929. And now we go to the real world application in universities context. What is communication apprehension? Communication apprehension or CA means feel anxious or afraid to speak, especially in formal situations like giving presentation or answering in class. Many universities students face this problem without realizing how common it is. When students have to present, they often feel nervous, their hands sweat, their voice shake, and they lose focus. Because of this, some prefer to stay quiet, even if they have a good idea. This issue may affect not just the academic performance, but also their mental health. They might feel anxious, have low confidence, and try to avoid group work or campus activity. Here's some statistics that we have. Study shows that 74% of Malaysian university students have moderate CA, and 23% of it experience at high level. So this is a widespread issue, and the solution we come to overcome CA. University can organize communication workshop and provide counseling, so the student can also take small steps like joining club, practicing speaking in small group, and volunteering for simple tasks to build confidence over time. Alright, next I will briefly present the strategies and intervention to manage communication apprehension amongst university students. First of all, we must understand that communication is crucial in shaping student identity and social interaction. Therefore, when students face communication anxiety, it must be addressed in a systematic and supportive manner. One effective method is communication skill training, which include public speaking, interpersonal conversation, and body language control. Along with this, desensitization techniques are used, starting from speaking in front of mirror to small group presentation and eventually in front of full audience. Studies have shown that an 8-week training program significantly reduces anxiety level. Another powerful approach is cognitive behavior therapy or CBT. This therapy helps students to replace negative thoughts like I will fail with positive affirmations such as I am prepared and capable. It also involves realization technique and mental restructuring, and it is usually guided by trained university counselor. According to Dwyer and Fast, 1999, CBT has been proven effective in increasing communication confidence. Next, support from lecturers, counselors, and peers is essential. Lecturers should create a safe learning space and allow students to start with a small group presentation. Counselor can provide one-on-one or group session, while peer support help reduce fear through shared experience. A study by Abdullah and Chun, 2022, confirmed that this support lead to greater openness in class participation. Lastly, technology play a big role. Students can use tool like Flipgrid or Padlet to practice speaking via video, voice recordings. This method reduce face-to-face pressure and allow flexible communication practice. Allen and Seaman, 2017, found that students became more confident after using such tool over a few weeks. In conclusion, with the right training, emotional support, and use of technology, students can gradually overcome communication apprehension and become more confident communicator. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, our group would like to share our reflection and critical insight on the topic of communication anxiety among university students, particularly how university address this issue. First, the university has shown some strength. It provides communication courses, presentation training, and soft skill workshop. This platform helps students practice and build their confidence. Some lectures also offer guidance to students who struggle with communication. However, we also identified several weaknesses. For example, some lecturers are unaware of students who experience severe anxiety. Students are sometimes asked to speak suddenly without preparation, with increased nervousness. Counseling services are also not well promoted, and most co-curricular activities mainly attract confident students, leaving shy students behind. Through group reflection, we found that each student experienced anxiety differently. One member felt nervous at first but improved the mentorship and club activity. Another member was fine speaking in Malay but anxious when using English due to fear of making mistakes. Based on this, we proposed a few improvements. University should offer one-on-one coaching and use cognitive behavioral therapy (CBT) technique to help students overcome fear. Simulate presentation and the option to submit record video can also reduce pressure. Most importantly, both lecturer and peer must be trained to provide emotional support in an empathic way. So, in conclusion, while current efforts are helpful, more inclusive and flexible strategies are needed so that all students, not just the confident ones, feel supported and encouraged to communicate effectively. That's all for me. Thank you.
Let's reflect on three key areas: the issue, the impact, and the way forwards. Summary of issue and key findings. Communication apprehension affect more than 70% of university students. It is caused by factors like low self-esteem, fear of judgment, cultural upbringing, and past negative experiences. If not addressed, it can harm academic performance, reduce participation, and lead to emotional stress. Practical applications for students. They need safe spaces to practice, join peer support groups, and access counseling or CBT techniques. For universities, it's important to create inclusive environments, provide communication workshop, and train lecturers to support anxious students. Call to action and future hopes moving forward. All parties must work together to support students emotionally, academically, and socially. Let's build a culture where speaking up is encouraged, not feared. With the right support, we can shape confident, expressive graduates ready for the real world. To conclude, many students face communication apprehension often silently. It affects their confidence, grades, and emotional well-being. Thank you.